guys, I think I might have a problem.
We know that. But what other problem do you have?
I think,
Dude,
this hasn't gotten better. It's been a month.
can you not straighten? Holy
No, like, I can't. It's just,
Really
it
focus
doesn't
on it.
hurt. Like, it's swollen. Yeah, I'm flicking you off.
That's
right, there you
rude,
go.
man.
Sorry.
That's rude.
Sorry.
Look at his finger, Brian.
I mean,
it's like definitely
Look
swollen.
at this finger.
it sucks. Like, I jammed it, like, working on the house, and, like, it makes working on the house even harder and just doing anything normal, but I think I might have to go get that checked out or put, like, a stint on it, or splint, or whatever the hell you
Splint,
call
I
it.
believe is
Splint. Stint is
I don't
like
know
a
what a
period of
stint
time,
is.
right?
Sure.
Whatever. Yeah, no, I don't.
Add that to the long.
Can you stop, like, wiggling?
I'll stop. Yeah, it just, I think I jammed it when I was working with the tile or something when I was working on the bathroom at the house. And
That sucks.
it sucks.
No, it just sucks.
So you're
doing
just
it
flicking us
yourself.
off.
Yeah, the bathroom was not easy. It was not easy.
Yeah.
It was about a 2-month process to do the guest bathroom. It was me and my dad, and my grandpa helped too.
Wow.
And I think my dad came up 4 times. Grandpa came up with him 2 times. And I worked on the weekends. I worked on some nights after work and stuff.
Listen, good for you, though, for getting it done. I'm sure you felt accomplished after the
It's a
fact.
long
so
time
good
commitment.
pat on the back.
Yeah, it came out pretty good. I'll show a little before and after on the screen here. But, yeah, it came out pretty good. Yeah. No, I'll put it up. But
Okay.
it was an old 90s bathroom, like yellow tub and yellow sink and blue, like, walls. And it was just gross.
Altogether, how many hours do you think it took?
Way too many.
Yeah, well, wait.
It looks great, by the way. It looks the before and after photos.
Looks great. Yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
I would argue there was probably more YouTube hours than man hours put into it, right?
Yeah.
Count and double it up. The time to research it on YouTube
Yeah,
and the
right.
time to actually
You gotta go buy all the stuff.
execute it.
I can tell you this: we probably went to Home Depot way more than I could count. I have so many receipts, and not only just to buy the stuff, but even to return stuff we didn't need or didn't want or I didn't realize we didn't need. Yeah. It was the worst. The very first day we worked on it, like the big push. Like I did demo the week before, and we went to a plumber and Home Depot 4 times just in that day.
Fuck that.
And I mean, it was stressful. Don't get me wrong. And like, thank God we had another bathroom at the time.
Right.
We ended up losing that bathroom towards the end there. I'll get into that in a little bit.
Going through it.
But we learned a lot. Like I learned what tub not to buy. I learned that plumbing it's not as hard as it seems. I mean, I think now I have more confidence in it. I mean, we had to use a lot of different stuff. Like I learned what a street angle is. I learned what a T-pipe is, and like all these other things. It works. Everything works good. I couldn't tell you if it's up to code.
Listen.
But you know what? The bathroom works great. A couple of scares here and there. A lot of the time we had to figure things out. But it's kind of like that's the mantra when it comes to DIY. You have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And thank God for YouTube.
I just thought of this meme. This is a side note because it wasn't part of this, but
Love that.
this meme thing that I saw the other day, and it's like this dad. He's like freaking out. He's like pissed, and then on the bottom it said, "When your dad asks you to get a tool and you bring him the wrong one." I remember when I was little. It was like, "Oh, go get me a Phillips head screwdriver." I'm like,
Who's Phil?
"Yeah, it's just part of growing up." But that's
Yeah.
funny. It's part of living in a household where
Part of
your
home
parents
ownership
own a
in general.
home. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be as grand as doing a bathroom, but I mean, even hanging up a picture, some people don't know how to do that.
Now that you've gone
Crazy.
through that process, like you know how long it took, you know like the trials and tribulations of it.
Oh,
Would you do it again?
I could do it again and do it better this time around.
Right.
A lot more question marks happening throughout
Right.
the project, right?
But
So
would
I
you?
would be more prepared, and I think I'd be more efficient. Would I? It depends on what.
Just gotcha. Depends on.
Yeah,
budget.
depends on the budget, right?
Yeah.
Like the reason why we did it this way is because I didn't want to spend tens of thousands of dollars just to renovate one bathroom. I mean, this
Exactly.
all in, we were just under $4,000,
Right. Which
is awesome.
which is
Incredible.
insane. Like our kitchen, we did like the bare minimum. We got countertop and installed one cabinet. It was a custom cabinet, so it was more expensive. Had like a trash pullout and stuff. That alone was over $6,000.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not including we bought all new appliances and stuff too when we first moved in the house. And so we did an entire bath. You're talking about tile. We bought we did plumbing all by ourselves. We bought vanity. We bought the tub. We bought all these things, like these supplies that you wouldn't think is expensive, which, by the way, vanities are extremely expensive. One thing that I never would have thought was that much. I mean, it's like a 36 by 30 vanity, not that big, single sink, small. You guys seen pictures. It was like $700. Like this, and that was on sale.
Yeah.
I think the thing was really like $1,000.
You can DIY those.
Yeah, I mean, you can make them too. Like you can go to Home Depot and just make stuff. I mean,
It's like
you
a
can do whatever you
cabinet,
want. You literally
drop a sink in it.
can do whatever you want.
It's home ownership in general. It's just knowing going in that like automatically you're spending anywhere from $500 to $1,000.
Yeah.
Like just knowing that off the bat, and that goes into the pros and cons of owning versus renting, right? And what you want to deal with.
Have any of you like really owned or even rented a property in like an apartment or a condo
Yeah.
association?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
out of school, we
Do you
rented for a few
prefer a
years.
condo/apartment or single family home?
Single family home. 100%. I like the space.
Space, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
do
home
that.
gym too. Like I need the space.
Yeah.
I have a lot of shit.
I mean, we live in a nice condo, but
Well, I think
I
it's
like it.
also the area you live in.
True.
Too. It's a little different, right?
true, yeah. I live in
Find a
downtown.
single home in West Palm.
Like in the city is nothing.
In the city,
hard.
yeah,
I mean,
right.
there's nothing down there.
Yeah.
Just all like high rises and.
I mean,
Well,
even
the
even
price is
college,
there.
we also rented a house and we liked that better. Than,
Yeah.
You know, dorms. Dorms were kind of more of apartment-ish.
Kind of, yeah. In a way.
There were some dorms that had kitchens and stuff.
Yeah.
Not ours.
No, not ours.
Definitely
Not
not
our
ours.
freshman dorms. But I'm just saying, like, you had the option to get like a 4-bedroom apartment, essentially.
Yeah, those ones. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
were cool.
They're over by the softball fields and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't live in them, but I
No,
knew people. that
Lydia
did.
did. So like, I saw it. I mean, it's fine. It's whatever. But
Yeah.
I preferred the house.
1045 8th Ave. What a place, but my goodness.
What a
She went through some of it for us.
Oh, these guys
I
are
don't think we
renting
were that bad, to be honest. To be fair, like
No, we
'cause
were great
we
college
kept the house
homeowners.
up to snuff. Essentially, we took care of it enough, much more than a regular college kid
You,
probably
I
would.
think you took care of it.
Yeah,
That was
the summers were tough. Adam and Tyler know.
Well,
That grass got long.
looked like the
For the-
safari out there.
for the parties that you guys threw. Like the house was well kept
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that can turn upside down real quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had no plumbing issues.
Yeah.
We made sure we maintained the salt. They had a salt water system because it was well water. We had to maintain that. Like,
We
that
might
was
pay for
annoying.
that later down in life, but for now we're doing okay.
Yeah, the water probably wasn't great to drink. Yeah, it wasn't.
We were young. We were healthy. We
Builds
could handle it.
antibodies, right?
Doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. Baby.
Hey, you know,
Part
the
of growing in
antibodies.
college.
But it gives you your first taste of home ownership when you
Yeah.
rent like that
Yeah.
in college, kind of living on your own, having to fix things when things come up, things break. How to get it resolved?
Definitely.
So
Very important to have a security system if you own a home because we got robbed within our first week of moving in.
people were scoping us out as they
They
knew we were
saw us.
moving in. Took all of our shit. They got caught and we got most of our shit back. I still don't know where my Xbox is, but
We didn't know any better. We moved in on day one. You know, we didn't turn on any lights. I don't even know if we had our power on yet, but someone saw us move in and we came back to finish the job or just to
and the
get
house was locked.
custom.
It's not like we left it unlocked or
Yeah.
anything. They broke in.
Changes
How'd
your
they get in?
perspective real quick.
Absolutely. Real world hit real quick.
How'd they get in?
Back.
At the back, yeah. They jumped the fence and
I remember
pop the
that
window.
vaguely. I remember that.
yeah, we had like
happening.
a Florida room. So like the Florida rooms,
Yeah.
they're just glass, basically patios, and so they broke in there.
Did they ever find?
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
They caught him. So I
remember
got,
that part.
I got my stereo system
That's
back.
right.
Yeah.
Adam got his Xbox. No, his Xbox did not get back. He got his TV though,
Kurt TV.
because they just ripped the TV right out of the wall. They didn't like try to take the time to unhook it off of the bracket because they were all mounted on the wall, and they just ripped that shit right out. And so he was pissed about his Xbox. So he would log on. And he would see that someone was logged in online, and he was trying to track them. And he was like, thought he was like viciously attacked. Like this is a personal attack. I need to find these motherfuckers. They're using my gamer tag and like all this stuff.
They did leave his speakers disrespectfully in the sink. They just weren't good enough to be taken, so they left them in the sink.
Stop it.
Like, yeah, we don't need these.
Right. But just like I think he said, just real world hit real quick.
Yeah,
with that
Yeah.
moment,
that's crazy.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Now there's so many different things that you can do with like the cameras and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We have, there's so many different types of companies, and then they have Ring and stuff like
Oh,
that
yeah.
now,
Yeah.
which is I
Be
guess everybody
surprised
has.
if a home doesn't have a Ring doorbell now at this
Yeah,
point.
right.
You don't have to have the full Ring system, but
Security cameras, a lot of them are wireless now. So it's all connected to the network. It's all connected to Wi-Fi versus back then, a couple of years ago, I guess, and prior, it was all hardwire, which
Yeah.
would require a little bit more, understanding of how to pre-wire Cat 5, Cat 6, etc., low voltage, but
yeah.
craziness.
Do you guys have like with the security cameras? Obviously outside. Do you also have them inside too? Like at what point, or is there that point
In the
where there's that
bathrooms only.
invasion of privacy?
So when I used to support a security company when I first started
Yeah.
with work, you had to like get approval to put like a camera in like a bedroom.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Just because of like privacy and whatnot.
Yep, yeah.
And like there was instances where like the customer, like the husband and wife would maybe be the main caregiver for someone. So like you got this old lady, like, and they would have to sign off and
Yeah,
make sure it's like
Makes
from a
sense.
legal standpoint, but it's
My
interesting.
My parents have cameras in the living room, kitchen
Yeah.
area.
Well, ours is like all
And
open,
outside.
and then the one part like side of the whole house has windows. So we have one that faces from the front door all the way through, which basically covers the entire downstairs.
Yeah.
But I mean, if someone came through or wanted to come up towards the window, we would be able to see that. So we have it's all one big.
I feel like
unit.
entry points are a good place to have them.
For sure.
Yeah, we have one in the corner, and then that oversees like 4 different ways you can get into the house, and then we have the camera on the
Front
command.
door open.
Disarm.
Disarm. Garage door. And then we have one on the command panel, which has the eyeball looking at everything. So
Yeah.
Can people hack into those systems at all?
I'm sure they
Oh, yeah.
listen. Didn't they just hack Caesars? If they can hack Caesars, they
Yeah.
can hack into
That's-
your home.
well,
that's
see,
next level, though.
it-
That is
Still,
next
Those
level.
hackers, like,
one of those things
can
are
be
like
done.
those electronic
Oh, yeah.
doors. We have one, but it's not like set up to Wi-Fi. It's just a keypad entry. But then I'm like, well, can't they if they know the model, they try to make the model so like the inside's how you reset the number. But maybe there's something we don't know, and like you can break in that way too. Our
James,
Ring
you're
doorbells.
a big Disney guy, right? Big Disney guy.
I like Disney.
Smart house.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting hacked and all that. So
Echo, baby.
give me
Everywhere.
no.
Echo.
Give me
I
the old school locks.
I rewired a lot of my house so that way I can have Echo enabled plugs, Echo
my
enabled
gosh.
enabled switches and stuff. I don't have to get off my couch and I can tell the fan to turn on. It's amazing.
Didn't you say and I don't know if it ever happened, weren't you going to try to work with your next door neighbor to try to hardwire everything?
Yeah.
But didn't he move or something?
Yeah, he ended up moving. That was like what he did. Like he had
Yeah.
control panels and everything in his
Yeah.
house. Like the iPads are big and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, he was going to show me. So the biggest thing was he was going to show me how to wire like Cat 5 cables, so I can just, directly connect like all the smart TVs, with using the internet, Ethernet cords and stuff. So, never got around to it. It's fine. It's all good. But
One thing that we did, which is awesome, is the automatic blinds.
yeah,
Those
that's
sick.
cool.
are
That's
those
cool.
are awesome.
Yeah. Sick.
Well worth it because
Yeah.
we have a lot of windows and they're high up. So those automatic blinds, just click a button. Goes right
It's
up.
another eye-opening thing. It's how expensive blinds are.
Ooh, those
Yeah,
were
too.
very expensive.
It's how expensive anything.
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
is nowadays,
I mean,
for sure.
it's crazy.
We got a quote for our Florida room, and I was like, this is absurd.
They're nuts. Dude, fence. You remember your fence quote?
Fence
Oh
is
my
fine.
I ended up
God,
putting in
yeah.
the fence myself.
Yeah. The gutters.
Didn't you cut? Didn't you
Shush, shush, shush.
What
Didn't
happened?
call anything. I don't need anyone coming after me. Might have cut a wire. I don't know. ADP, sue me.
On that note of things being so expensive, though, James, more for you because you're in the industry, but would love your opinions too. Just what are your thoughts on obviously the pricing of homes right now, but also those LLCs and those companies coming in buying up properties, which is leaving less and less for just the regular Joe Schmo trying to come and buy a home.
I really don't want to weigh in on this.
Ooh, I heard something that you're gonna like, but I like to go off of that. It's the same
Yeah.
exact type of question.
Yeah.
Someone said I was watching something recently, and it was based off of how the current market is. Right, we see interest rates escalating, which should, in theory, drive prices down over time. But someone said, I think that the quote, I might be wrong here, but date the rate, marry the loan, or whatever it was. I don't know. Marry
home.
Marry the home. Yeah. Date the rate,
Date
marry the
rate.
home.
Because you can refinance.
You can always
Yes,
refinance.
Yes.
So it makes sense to, because you're going to get the house at a lower cost, basically, and assuming that the price drives down with the higher rate, then lock that in and just refinance it.
Yeah,
Always refinance.
I mean, always
You can't get
always
back
shop
the price.
within your
Yeah,
means.
of course.
There's reason why there's ratios that these lenders look at. Always shop within your means. But yeah, ultimately that's kind of the deal. Like we're going through that right now. We're having hard conversations because I mean there was a point where we got kind of house happy for a second there, and we were like, oh my god, this house came up for market. Like we want to do it. And I was like, I sat her down, like, just letting you know, like, we're going to have a $3,000 plus mortgage payment. That is more than double what we pay now.
Right.
And so, like, are we ready to change our lifestyle for that? Because that's essentially what it is, where if we just kept with the plan and waited for another year, we might have more money, buy down the rates, we can buy down the principal more, and essentially put ourselves in a better financial position. But with the knowledge of if we had a 7% rate, we can always refinance. Rates will go down. The pendulum always swings.
yep.
Yeah.
That's essentially it. So eventually, yeah, we'll be able to refinance. And that's why ARM products are out there too, because you know you can do an adjustable rate mortgage. They're hot during a higher interest rate market, and then you can always refinance later. Some of them have terms though.
I just don't like the idea and the concept of companies that you cannot outbid if you get like you don't have enough money to go up against these organizations that are coming
Yeah,
in.
but that's a
and buying
capital
them.
market.
Yeah.
I know. It's just
what
we're
we
starting
have.
to see it. It's
It's
interesting.
it's interesting for
And it-
sure.
I'll make this one comment about your question to me. It's just there when you're in the mortgage or real estate industry, there's a lot of different players saying a lot of different things.
Sure.
Right. Do your research wisely. Right. Some people are saying, "Oh, housing prices are going to come back," and then some people are saying, "No, they're going to keep going up." Then the feds are going to stop raising rates and this, that, and the other. I mean, it's news is news, right?
Right.
You have to do your due diligence. But what I'll say, the housing market, it's the best way to make equity and money and become do the American dream essentially, right?
Yeah.
And the American dream in a capitalist society, there's competition, so you have to, you're competing constantly out there. Now, some people do not have the same advantages, and that's going down a whole different rabbit hole. It's a lot. What I do is the fair lending aspect of things and stuff. But anyways, there's just a lot in the mortgage industry. There's a lot going on in the real estate industry. Educate yourself. That's one of the biggest things. Find good loan officers and people that can help you along that transaction, because being a first-time home buyer is not easy. How did you guys feel about it?
I mean, it's complex.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm in the indry and it's still
yeah,
complex.
well,
Hey,
yeah.
we have a joke. It's you can't spell mortgage when you first start. Like, it's not an easy word to spell, to be honest with you. But yeah. How was your guys' experiences?
I mean, for me, I asked a lot of questions. We talked a lot. I think we got very lucky because the individual we were renting from was also a realtor. So we built a good relationship with him, someone we trusted. And then he actually was, he was our realtor for when we bought our home. So just very transparent with us and knew where we were at. And so kind of gave us a guide and helped us make what so far has been a good decision for us. But it's just, like you said, it's about educating. It's about having those conversations. It's about being disciplined,
The power of a real estate agent that you can trust is very important.
Oh, yeah.
It can go, like, knowledge of this can go as simple as, oh, if I get a real estate agent, I'm a buyer, I don't have to pay the real estate agent? Someone didn't know. It's kind of like we did that with travel agents. I always was under the assumption that I had to pay the travel agent.
Yeah.
That's why I never used them.
It's
Right.
crazy.
But you don't pay for it. It's the seller or the person on the other side of the transaction that's paying that person. Use them. They're helpful. They're there for you.
Yeah, and then just the power of being able to lean on others and ask those questions, like your parents or whoever it is.
Yeah, people that have
It's
gone through it.
important to just ask for help, because I feel like people have this pride thing where it's like they got to figure it out on their own, and they're just not doing enough research. Like you mentioned, YouTube. Dude, it's incredible how you can get so many different perspectives and opinions on how to go about being a first-time homeowner, first-time buyer, and then just in general.
It doesn't stop after you got in your house.
No.
No, it
you
doesn't.
get your loan, cool, fine and dandy. You may not be aware, hey, they're probably selling it to someone else. You think you're all comfortable with such and such mortgage lender, and then all of a sudden, hey, you get a welcome letter. And you're like, oh, my loans with Wells Fargo's now, right, Ryan? You
That's
did that.
happened
Yeah,
every
I
time I
literally-
bought a property. Within the
Yeah.
first month, it's like sold off. I'm like,
I didn't enjoy my process because we had a small lender and it gets sold to Wells Fargo, which I have an account. So now every day when I log in, I see my mortgage and it's just okay. You know, I didn't need that, but here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you have the state laws. In Florida, you have homestead.
Yeah.
And you're applying for a homestead. You want to do it the first year so that way you can lock in your tax rate and stuff doesn't jump up. We've got the Save Our Homes Act, which is after 2 years, your home stops adjusting to the market rate and can only increase taxes by 3%. I mean, these are things, every state has different stuff. And if you don't know that stuff, it can hurt you and bite you in the ass.
Right. You mentioned talking to your parents about it too. Like one thing we know what the rates are right now, but when our parents bought homes, they were buying at 10, 15% interest rates. So it just speaks to, you know, the volatility of it, that it, you know, it will go up, it will go down, but just putting that in perspective too. Now, yes, the prices were way different, but just they have some insight, you know, on what we're dealing with today.
Yeah, it's a competitive market right now too. So you mentioned like the American dream. It is
It's how you build wealth.
Well, it's interesting.
And you can build
because
generational wealth.
Yeah,
That's
that-
key.
that is very true. I also think though, like when you look back, that's an old school mentality, right? I remember graduating from college, and it was like my parents are like, "Hey, what are you doing to like set yourself up to buy a house?" Like that was it. And I remember my parents bought a house at a very young age.
Yeah,
I'm
so
like,
did my dad.
Same.
hell no, I could not afford to buy anything at 22, 23,
A
24
lot of
years old.
people our age are doing that.
And it's getting
They're
harder
buying homes.
and harder and harder.
It's tough.
And listen, I think there's a lot of people out there who are in a position where they can leverage their surroundings and, you know, get help from their parents and whatnot, which that's amazing for them. But
Yeah.
not everybody's in that situation.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
I mean, it's hard enough to find a job. Oh,
Dude.
you want to start and get an entry level position? You need 2 years fucking experience. What the fuck? Well, how do you?
That is always the best.
And then you're getting shit pay when you're starting out. How the hell are you supposed to save up for a house? You gotta be hustling in college and high school, saving up for a house these days.
yeah.
Shit, you might need to start opening up those lemonade stands earlier, baby. Because like, get your kids out there, start raking the cash in. Because Gary V, that shit. Go to some garage sales. My goodness.
Yeah, it's just because I think the big debt comes now from college, and I think a lot of those people in like the 80s and 90s, they weren't walking into their mid 20s with debt as large as us. So you're basically starting off negative, right?
Yeah.
Like when you start, you're like, oh, I'm negative 300K. You know, that's basically what a house costed, or probably
That's what a
a house
fixer-upper
costs
costs these
less.
days.
crazy.
Yeah,
So-
you know.
I want to point out one of the things that our generation is going to have to deal with. So a generation that may not be so much DIY, maybe they are. So a lot of our generation's not really going to trade schools and stuff.
Right.
So knowing that, we understand way homes were built. When you say fixer upper, a lot of the houses out there on the market are well over 20 something years old.
Exactly.
And a lot of our generation that are trying to get these homes, because those are the only ones that we could probably afford, we don't know all the building code problems that they had. I'm getting hit with that right now.
100%.
Between 1975 and 1994, my home's in 93, they used certain piping.
Polybutylene.
Yeah, aren't they like under like isn't there like a lawsuit?
There was
or
a
something?
class action back then.
Which is crazy. Like, and you don't know that. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't know that was there. I'm not going to disclose the person's name, but they bought a house like 2 years ago. They just found out that there's literally a gas tank 10 feet under the ground 10 feet away from their house, the foundation of the house.
The fact that
It's
the
a
house can be sold to
disaster.
them without them knowing, that's
Nuts.
Gas tank?
Yeah.
Like,
Craziness.
when you say gas tank,
house was built in like 1950.
like a gas station.
Like a
tank
gas
underneath.
station
Like a
tank?
gas tank, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
With gas in it?
I don't know, because when they actually had
But it
to
could
dig
have
up,
fumes.
like they had to knock out all the concrete from the driveway. Like that's and no apparently
Did it get removed?
They had to remove it allegedly, and the only reason why is because they wanted to extend the garage and put they had to put foundation and knock out the garage, knock out the concrete, and then they started digging, and
and then they
like,
found it.
yeah.
Holy shit. That's nuts.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. How many homeowners prior maybe knew about that and just didn't say anything?
Listen, I'm telling you right now, so this polybutylene thing, every exposed pipe is copper. So we assumed we had copper. We thought we had electrolysis in our house, and that's what happened. We thought we had a slab leak, and that's what we thought happened. And we were like, fuck, we're going to have to, repipe the whole house. We might still have to do that. But, yeah, it wasn't that. It was because, and people have done that to do some insurance fraud. Sure. So
It's crazy.
which is another fucking subject. And again, people don't know. Ryan, you went through an insurance claim. I'm going through one right now.
Florida room.
Another thing that people don't understand.
Tell you what.
Like, you have to learn through all these problems. I mean, you're learning constantly throughout your life, but like home ownership just brings challenge after challenge after challenge. And it is tiring,
It is.
stressful,
Here's the question.
and annoying.
What's better, to rent or to own?
That's a great
It is.
point.
It's about
It is
what
a
you
good
want
question.
too. You
So
know,
we have a friend who rents, who was a homeowner, and again, though, right now it's also tough to tell because it's so expensive to rent.
Yeah.
it
Well,
is.
but if he locked in a rate.
yeah, he locked in a rate, so he's good.
So,
but
yeah, he's been good for a while, which is good for him because he has that lower rate. So now he's in a good spot. The only weird position he is in is if he wants to go buy the house because now prices are so expensive.
Right.
So it's like you might as well just wait it out. But hopefully you wait it out and like things subside
Yeah.
price wise, which they should as these rates continue to grow astronomically. But yeah, and now you're playing a waiting game, which just kind of sucks too because you're like, well, don't really have. It's not up to me, right? I don't have the control over that.
yeah,
do you want
Yeah.
the equity, the ownership, everything's on you, or do you want the convenience where, hey, something happens,
Just call the-
the
call the
guy?
mayor.
And there is definitely benefits and arguments to be made on both sides of that.
I think the reason why I choose house every time is because I like something that's mine.
yes,
Of course.
Not from the equity and ownership. I want to be able to do what I want to do. If I want to put a barn door over my freaking pantry because
Yeah.
I like that look, I can do it. I don't have to deal with this,
Getting it approved or
accordion door. And no, I mean, I wouldn't even bother approving because why would I pay that money for something that I get nothing
Yeah,
in
but
return?
I can go and combat that because a lot of people buy homes and are in HOA associations where they still face regulation.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I want to look for a place that doesn't have HOA because that shit can get real annoying.
Yeah,
real
HOAs
fast.
are ridiculous.
HOAs,
And they're very popular.
It
They
can,
are.
but it can provide benefits to like upkeep of the neighborhood and like
A well-run HOA.
Well,
key.
it better.
There's
And
the key.
security,
There's
gate
the-
security.
Yeah.
It better. Those fees you pay, it better.
Yeah,
but like some
100%.
HOAs are
it's a
just
vehicle
ridiculous.
for people to just steal money.
Yeah,
Please,
it's
come on.
ridiculous.
It's
Like,
insane. And power. People like power.
Yeah.
They do.
can't keep your boat outside, can't do this, can't do that. But then meanwhile, the house four houses down, the grass is growing above the freaking roof. So
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
It's like the most hypocritical structure of government.
can't have your car with a logo on it. You got to put a
Yeah.
cover over. It's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, HOAs are tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
HOAs
but
are real.
that's
tough.
a circumstance where you have equity and ownership and control over the property to an extent,
Yeah, yeah.
which is a weird scenario where it's like I just bought at that point you might just rent. It's like what control do you really have?
I mean, I guess I don't know. I think you still
Well,
have
the
at
equity?
least the interior.
Yeah.
So most
Backyard.
HOA stuff's out exterior.
Well,
Don't-
you can do what you want in a lot of rentals.
So
for the
I
most
would,
part, inside. I mean, I'm not saying like completely renovate like. Yeah, what you just did with the bathroom, that would be like a little much. It would be a waste of money.
Yeah, I know.
Why renovate the bathroom if it's not yours?
Going back to the insurance claim real quick, one thing that I just learned in the process was an insurance adjuster. We called our insurance company out. We got approved for barely enough that would even start to pay for the process. We brought an insurance adjuster. We got even more than we could, more than we needed, which was awesome. But just knowing that that is an option, very similar to the travel agent and the real estate agent, we didn't have to pay for that. That was taken. It was taken out of the total money. It didn't feel like we had to pay for it. So just knowing that that's an option too, if you're working with your insurance company, it maybe doesn't go the way you'd plan, and you think there are options out there for you to look into.
touche.
We
Yeah,
haven't gotten we haven't gotten a determination at all of what our coverage is going to be. Where we had to move, we had mold, we had to get that shit out of there.
Yeah.
And it's expensive. It ain't cheap stuff.
No, it's not.
We have insurance for the reason to cover, but then you have to fight your own insurance company.
Exactly.
And it's just why. I mean, it seems like a broken system. Yeah. It sucks. And everyone's telling me if you want to get what you want to get out of your insurance company, you have to fight them. And it's just
And it's getting worse and worse.
at what time
specifically
I
in
understand
Florida.
greed and stuff, but at what time is it just, do the right thing for these companies?
Yeah.
Like if you're going to sell this product and this is what it's going to be, I mean, I get it. You have to have a bottom line, but it's the whole point. I mean, soon, with the way the hurricanes are going, we ain't going to have insurance in Florida.
Right. Yeah.
It's insane.
At least coastally.
Yeah.
Interior, we're hanging tough.
Yeah.
Thing is, people are just keep willing to pay, and that's what jacks it up.
Yeah, it's
You
like
have
health
to.
insurance, right? Same kind of shit.
Yeah.
Sucks.
But yeah, I mean, just even when it comes down to like normal upkeep of the home, right? Like you got to mow the lawn. do you mow it or do you get a landscaper to do it? Like those are decisions to make too, and you have financially.
Because I'm not handy, I'm mowing the lawn, baby. When we
Listen,
get a nice cold one right there, I'll be out there. But
I think mowing the lawn's therapeutic.
I used to love mowing the lawn at Truman.
Used to.
At Truman.
Yeah, you said used to. Like
No,
you don't anymore.
so I don't. So
he's above it.
no. Here's the thing. I respect and appreciate small businesses.
Yeah.
This guy, him and his son, they cut our lawn every other Wednesday. They have not jacked up the price in 3 years, and I refuse to cut my lawn because when we got the house, they already were cutting it, and we're like, all right, whatever. Dude, he charges us $25.
Yeah, worth
A
it.
cut.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm like,
That makes
And,
sense.
they
dude,
probably do a good job.
these
Yeah,
guys,
they
and they're
do.
great. It's him and his son.
Until
like they,
someone drives their boat in your front yard and jacks up all your grass.
listen, he's great.
Sounds like you were
people.
close to that situation.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I don't know. What you're talking about.
Listen, there's nothing better than cutting your own grass, cracking up a cold one, and just enjoying it. But when you got someone else doing it, I
You
guess
got good reasoning behind. Like that's a good story.
Time is a big.
feels like
factor,
I'm like-
though. If you need more time,
walking away. I don't want to walk away from
I think that's the biggest decision when you think about DIY and all that. It's just time.
time.
well,
And we've talked about that on
money's pretty big.
Yeah.
Money. I'd
So,
say.
on that topic, so if you were to prioritize, like, the decision making of why you would do it yourself outside of obviously the cost, what else goes into that? And
Nothing.
I can tell you right now, I was excited to do my bathroom because I knew I got to do something with my dad and my grandpa.
You could have just went and golfed with them.
I understand that, but I have something that's lifelong.
I'm just saying.
Is that a
you
good
could-
one, Dill?
I've golfed with them so many times. I had never done a bathroom with them. But the things that I cherish the most, other than golfing with them, are the projects that I have to look back on. I mean, I'll look at my shed forever and be like, I built that with my grandfather.
yeah, that is.
Here's
really
the problem.
It's meaningful.
I mean,
it's meaningful.
I
Exactly.
really agree with that. Like that's great. The
I enjoy it though.
experiences.
I like figuring things out.
Here it comes.
It
I'm
is.
just saying, when you sell that house, you're not going to be like that shed. Like that,
I'm taking
that
it with
shed's
me.
gone.
No, but I can still walk away with it and be proud of something that I've done and I've accomplished
not-
as a person.
Oh, don't turn this into like, oh, I'm proud of it.
He asked me the question. I'm giving you an honest response. There's no debate
There-
here if I'm wrong.
It is a
Not
pride
yet.
thing,
Hold,
though.
hold the debate.
It is a
topic.
pride.
Hold our fire on the debate.
There is
topics.
nothing better to feel like, hey, like I actually did this.
Yeah, I mean, you even said it when I texted you. You're like, that looks amazing, and it's even better because you did it.
No, I mean, I love that you did that. That's great.
Thanks, buddy. I
But I'm
appreciate
just
it.
trying
However-
to say.
However, yep.
There's the smirk. The
Here
Ken
it
smirk.
comes.
Here it-
I'm just trying to say.
Here
when
comes
you
the
look at
extreme.
it from a value perspective, is the tile on the wall worth like the 300 hours that you spent on that shit?
Yeah, dude. You have to understand.
Okay, so
Some people like it. They enjoy
the
working with
dad
their
and grandpa
hands.
thing, definitely. Like that's
Yeah,
okay. You got me with that. You win on that one.
Have you ever heard of this thing called hobbies, bro? People
Your
like
hobby is not to do people's bath. You want? I'll give you a hobby. Come over and do my bathroom.
No, I'm
Come over to my
I'm
bathroom,
saying
the
people
hobby.
like working with their
Dude,
hands. They
just
like
my
these. What are you?
hobby
Why
here.
are we debating
Here.
this? These are my opinions.
You just said you like a hobby. I'll fucking give you. I'll give you.
Well,
a
I'm
pack
saying
of
people
beer or
do
something.
stuff that can be working with their hands. So like, I mean, working on a car. That could be a hobby, not necessarily maintenance of your car, like not owning. Like even though my dad owned an oil change shop, he also, as a hobby with his buddies, built cars for fun.
Yeah.
For the
I
enjoyment
agree.
of
Okay,
it.
so that's good. But people aren't renovating bathrooms on the reg.
Can we just keep the hobby simple? With work with our hands, crack a beer, and then drink it. Like that's a good hobby. Sit down, watch some football. No,
That is a good hobby.
But why are you jumping down my throat? Because I like working on stuff, like working on my house. Okay, Johnny, don't say it like that. No, I like doing stuff. Like I like having projects and working around the house and doing shit. Like I enjoy that. That's why I do it. I wouldn't if I didn't enjoy it. Guess what I would be doing? Paying someone else to fucking do it.
now there's a hobby right there. Let me pay that guy to do it, and I'll just sit back.
That's my hobby.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy it.
Take my
It's
money.
just- same reason why Johnny said he liked
The
running
reason
along.
why I'm debating it is because I'm not really debating whether you enjoy it or not. I'm debating whether there is enjoyment out of that to the fullest. You go and make this beautiful bathroom, shit's fucking leaking and like things are going bad. Like nothing's ever perfect, right? So
Good enough.
you add the expenses to like having to fix things and like learn more, and it's like a time investment, it's a financial investment.
No
So it
different than
just-
life.
Yeah, just pay the expert. That's what I'm just saying is it's just like where is the
Oh, I'm saying like you have problems and stuff in life, and like, it's the same stuff. It teaches you life lessons working with your hands and doing things like that.
Listen, when I try to attempt to do it with my hands, I spend a whole day.
gonna
We
need
get
another
nowhere,
drink,
and then
Kenny.
I gotta
Jesus
call
Christ.
someone just to go fix my own work. Yeah. At that point, let me just cut out the
Oh
loser
well,
first.
hey, if I know I'm incapable, I did call a plumber to come out, and the funny thing was the plumber said, "Hey, we're gonna have to charge you $5,000." However, let me tell you this: this is what I would do. And then he finally told me like what I needed to know that I didn't do enough research on. I kind of jumped the gun. I was like, it's plumbing. I need to just call a professional here. And then he explained it to us. And guess what? We got it done, and it fucking worked flawlessly, no issues. And actually, we did a better job than what they did. They never used a certain thing to actually glue down the piping, and the piping was loose. And he said, "No fucking way." So these guys, they just move through these houses quickly when they're building them, and they cut
$5,000.
corners. But it was what they wanted to do was dig all the way down, go to the main pipe, and replace the P trap, and come back all the way up so it was at the right height for this tub because our tub was at a different height, so the drain was at a different location. I just needed to cut the fucking pipe, lower that point, and then I can connect all the stuff so I can get to the drain and the vent. And it worked. It's great.
I don't even know what you
Nothing's
just said,
happened.
so.
I know.
Sounds fun.
Look, man, just because you don't enjoy it, I'm not
I'm
knocking you
just
for that.
fucking with you, bro.
Bro, it's fucked. God damn. Jumping down my throat because we still
I'm fucking with you.
got a debate about this shit.
I don't know if we need to debate.
Yeah, Mike, this is our hot take right now. It's
Welcome to
live.
Hot Takes, where we
Welcome to
talk
Hot
about
Takes.
debatable topics.
DIY or pay the guy. Today's hot take. Goodness gracious. Ty, what do you think? Ty?
I'll do a DIY. I feel like that there's definitely a limit where it's like I'm
you're
out of my.
practically a DIY with camera crew. Would you just pay the professional?
He is paying the
He is.
professional.
I understand that, but how did he get there? How do you become a professional? And he loves doing what he does, right? I listened to your podcast and I heard him say the reason why he got into it was because he just loved the technology behind cameras, the stabilizers and all that stuff. Am I right, Ty?
You all right?
Ty, you look great
Okay,
behind the
but
camera.
here's the
Ty
thing.
was behind
right?
the camera the
Well,
entire time.
I'm saying like if I did this when I was younger and maybe I got into it, maybe I went into trade school, I made a profession out of it. Yeah. Then maybe you're talking to a professional plumber at this point.
Okay.
I was
That's
general
how-
contracting.
That's how my dad got into it. He loved cars growing up, right? He would fix cars, he would race cars, drag race, and guess what he ended up doing at the end of his life? Became a fucking mechanic.
I found James's trigger.
I just don't understand. I don't understand
You don't understand what though.
why you're fighting me on this.
I'm not fighting with you. I'm fucking with you.
That's fucked.
There's a difference.
You're being an ass. That's what you're being.
Just trying to figure out your love for bathroom renovations.
Here's the love for bathroom renovations. Whatever day. Day one. Hey boys, full day of fucking work. Started at 8 a.m. and all we have to
Give you
show
guys the
for
updates.
is a new shower plumbing installed. Chiseled concrete for new tub drain and made a new tub drain. 4 trips to the hardware store, 3 times Home Depot, and 1 time plumbing supply. Sounds like a grand old time.
So you guys probably had a group chat on the side just making fun of my bullshit.
No, we didn't need it. We just had a regular.
Assholes.
Fuck DIY.
You guys are assholes.
Oh my god.
James is sitting there Googling how to renovate a bathroom for 400 hours. So
James's hobbies. Number 1, DIY. Number 2, nature.
I like to go on hikes.
he needs dead silence in nature in order to combat the aggressive renovations he's doing in his house
The aggression from Kenny.
constantly.
Why am I friends with you guys?
I don't.
Listen, I changed the battery in my car. And I felt
you
I
go.
felt on top of the fucking world.
I'll pull over to help anyone with a flat tire just to show I can prove it. Fucking replace a flat
I
tire.
pressure washed my driveway. Felt good about that.
Like you can't replace a flat tire? I got it. Real man can change a flat tire.
Call AAA, baby. Come on out. Change the tire.
Although
You need to
here's
jump your
the
battery?
issue.
I got you.
I tried to help someone recently change your tire. This is not on topic, but a lot of cars now don't put the tire, and you guys know this, but a lot of
spare?
tires
Yep.
don't
Yeah.
put the spare in the car anymore. And then because they don't put the spare in the car, they don't even have like the
jack?
or the tool to take off the tire. So I'm like, I mean, if you don't have a run flat, which I had a run flat and I had to drive that shit 200 miles from Orlando to West Palm or whatever it is. And they're not supposed to go that far.
Yeah, no.
So that was fun, driving like 35 miles an hour with a run flat. But yeah, I mean, you're fucked. Like,
Yeah.
Remember when you said the Spirit airline, the fucking wheel just falls off, flies off? That could have been your car, dude.
oh, it could have been my car. It was a nice car too. It wasn't like a bad car, but I'm like,
That was
Not-
literally Billy's car, I believe. The wheels fell
oh
off.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
the fucking
God.
axle,
Yeah, the axle came right off.
dude.
And I swear to God, if that
crazy.
kid wasn't as strong as he was, he deadlifted that fucking car so I could put the axle back on.
Epic.
The wheel back on the axle. And
Good
we
old
pushed
Billy.
it. We pushed it right back into its spot and said, take my truck. That thing ain't fucking moving.
Still got the lips on
Thing was a
top.
death trap. Death trap.
That was like a
Fucking Jeep Pilot or whatever.
Yeah.
It was
yeah. I
called.
was just gonna say it was a
Fucking
Billy
death
was
trap.
bigger than that car. Like,
Yeah.
literally. Like, sitting there.
Dude, the man deadlifted a vehicle. I don't think there was any adrenaline in his system. Maybe there was. Maybe there was.
Fight or flight. We're getting to
But
practice
the dude
today.
squatted 650, so I mean,
Good old Bill Walsh.
golly.
At the end of the day, it's a choice.
Come on,
How
man.
are you going
That-
to use your
Kenny,
time?
that paintbrush up there doesn't get you excited? You know, like cutting? I know Morgan likes cutting. She's a cutting pro now,
I
right?
can't paint it. That's too straight
I
of a
said
line
Morgan.
to paint. Well, she can't paint that out. She wouldn't enjoy that.
Wow, dude. I thought she did a great job at your house.
She did. That's just like, really, look how straight that is.
I'm not saying
Is
like
it AI or human?
It's AI.
AI.
I'm not saying I wouldn't do the renovations. Like I've done renovations. I've done a lot of different things. Like, I mean, there's like these walls and stuff like that. Like Ty helped a lot with these, but basically, there's certain things I would do. But what I look at it is like a time commitment,
Right.
one, and then the value that that's creating. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just
There's
look
a
at those.
confidence factor that you want to know it's done right. I was nervous. Don't get me wrong. I don't want fucking water dripping behind my wall and I can't see it. And mold happens and this whole fucking
Yeah.
vicious cycle of the
Yeah.
shit that I have going on with the master bath comes up again. So I mean, there's a little nervous.
There's certain things I like.
For sure.
For instance, if I paid someone to do these walls in here, there's a different element of like a creative aspect to it. Like
Absolutely.
Ty and I knew what we wanted with this, and Ty can speak on this. But how difficult would it be to tell someone how to do this? Like, hey, this is what I want done.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it first would have just costed like 3 times as much,
Yes.
Yeah.
and it wouldn't be exactly. Like when I hired somebody to do it, and it's like I see everything that's wrong with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus like I did, it's
definitely
like
fair.
oh, it's pretty
Yeah.
good. It's good.
Yeah. You accept the imperfections too. Only you're gonna know it's there.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, there's some stuff in that bathroom that only I know is there. And I will not point it out to anybody. If you find it, you find it. Okay, cool. But I agree with you. And I think if you pay for someone, you're also expecting perfection. Because if you're paying,
You're the expert.
It's exactly. And unfortunately, I feel like you mentioned this, they cut corners.
They do.
Also, I hate when they say, yeah, we'll be at your house between 7 and 9 a.m. and they don't fucking show up till noon.
Oh my
like,
God.
that is
so frustrating.
and it's like, you're not on their time. I'm paying you
Oh,
to
yeah.
show up on time.
Yeah.
Like,
They might as well just tell you we'll be here between 8 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night. Yeah, we'll come in between that time frame.
On that note, how did people do that before COVID and before remote work? That window, like you just took that many days off, especially when the project was spanning multiple days, multiple weeks. Like that's to me, when going through the process with the insurance adjusters and having people in and out of the house and dealing with not being, not being on time. I just
Perfect case. I literally on Tuesday of last week, I had a contractor come out for the security system. Had a certain time, showed up 3 hours late.
Yeah, wow.
Called me on the hour he was supposed to be there, the latest. I was like, hey,
of course.
dealing with their service call, blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, when are you gonna be here? Maybe an hour or two. I'm like, when are you gonna be here? 3 hours later. I'm like, if I didn't have the flexibility and
bullshit.
wasn't able to do things in my own schedule, it's bullshit. People who work hourly get paid hourly. Like,
But here's the thing, like I understand both sides of that. Growing up, my dad had a service-based business. When you're at a homeowner's home doing a job, like fucking 10% of the time, everything's like hunky-dory and moves along perfectly,
Yes.
right? So if you have 8 jobs to hit that day, the likelihood of those aligning so perfectly where everything just goes smoothly without a little bump in the road that adds time to that is difficult. So it's like, when we ordered furniture and they're like, okay, we'll be there between 12 and 5. Oh, great. What the fuck? 12 and 5.
Right.
Like this 5-hour window? That's what you're giving me? I understand that they have to give a window like that because I understand the service-based business side of things because I've lived in it. But then at the same time, I'm like, please, can you give me a fucking window that's some type of approximate? Like, now, though, they have those apps where they give you...
It's better.
And they give you, like, it'll show you,
Time.
like, you're stop number 6, and we're at currently stop number 4. And you can project that a little bit better, which is helpful. But I do understand both sides of that.
I'll take someone who gives me a wide range. That's fine. You're honest and give me a 12 to 5. Like, I'm cool with that. Give me how it is. But and the no call, like no
call.
heads up, I don't like that. Again, I get that to your point though, because not everything has to go smooth. It has to be the right way. Also, they're going back and forth with the customer that they're at. I don't know.
I think that's what it boils down to is just be upfront, be transparent with me. Let me know what's going on. It's better for me to at least know what we're dealing with than dealing with the unknown, because then your mind just wanders. Then you're just sitting there like, what the fuck? Why haven't they called? Where are they at?
It's tough.
Give me
in
the
this
heads up.
Amazon era.
Yeah, my Amazon Prime driver
that
dropping
is
off
true.
1,000 packages, but gets them
Everything
to my house on time.
Instantaneous.
Everything happens so fast.
Yeah.
That's what everyone expects nowadays.
Yeah.
We're facing those challenges now with shorts and long forms.
Like, comment, subscribe. Help us with the algorithm.
Please. Was it under promise, over deliver? That might be the way, name of the game at least right now.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's a tough industry for sure. Like it's a very cutthroat industry too. And home service based, contracting, whatever it is.
One of the biggest problems I have with home ownership is when I do need to outsource, who do I call? I always ask around, like, who'd you have good experiences with? I mean, reviews are helpful, but I've gone the most reviewed ones and they sucked.
I agreed.
I don't know. It's weird. I know they have like Angie's List or whatever that's called and other stuff, but
I think word of mouth.
shaking your head with Angie's List.
What is that? What is that?
Do you want to
app?
receive 14 calls from companies within 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Word of mouth has got to be the way to go. Once you hear from someone who's experienced it, hold on to that person, and then unless it goes wrong,
It's a relationship market.
Yeah,
It depends on what's going on, though, right? Like, if your roof is leaking and it's something seriously wrong and it's urgent, right? Like, water's coming through your fucking ceiling. You're not going to be like, hey, Facebook, my roof is leaking. Can you recommend?
Oh, I meant like my inner circle.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to go on Facebook. Some people will, but...
Well, there's that recommendation tool, right? So that is very common. Mm-hmm. But I think, like, there's certain things where you're just going to jump on Google and you're going to be like, yo, I need to find the first fucking person here that's going to answer my call and come to my house.
I know you just mocked the Facebook thing, but one thing, there are neighborhood pages out there, and it's not when you're looking, but just as you see comments, just grab and store.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mock the
Screenshot it,
Facebook thing for that. I mocked it for the fact of, like, there are certain circumstances where you can't rely on a recommendation because of the time factor. So the time factor is going to cut things, like if it's an urgent matter.
Yeah.
Something's leaking is probably one of the most important things. Because it
Yeah.
or maybe like a hurricane. Like if a hurricane, something happens at a hurricane, like something, a window breaks or something like. You can't just live with. I mean, you can, but having no windows need to be a problem.
Be proactive.
Or if a tree falls on your house,
Yeah.
that shit is like bad. That needs urgent assistance. You're gonna call someone from basically searching for them, or you're gonna like seek that assistance a little bit more directly than a recommendation.
That's another crazy topic of like trees, like cutting trees, how expensive it is,
Dude.
Oh
I
my
got
god!
so lucky
Fuck,
one day.
going back and forth with your neighbor because their branch is hanging over. Who's responsible for cutting their
There's
tree?
a lot
How
of
much-
legality that
Yeah,
comes
there
into
is.
play on that.
There
There
is.
is.
It's just so much. It's so complex when it comes to homeownership.
You know what makes
It
that
really
worse
is.
too? With the whole, I feel like neighborhoods when we grew up, everyone really knew everyone. You were comfortable and familiar with your neighbors, and now you really don't like. A lot of neighborhoods, you don't talk to each other, so you get into those situations and those
You just
conversations.
communicate on these apps.
You don't have any
That's it.
personal rapport though.
Let me ask you this:
You guys do block parties?
Do you get, oh, that was such a Jersey thing.
Hurricane block.
That's not a thing in
Oh,
Florida.
yeah, we did. Some.
you?
We did
Nothing
growing
too
up.
Crazy.
We did them in Jersey, and they were sick.
Yeah, they would be like huge bangers.
Yeah.
Like the
5 years
mayor
old.
would
Let's
come.
go.
Seriously, like the mayor would come and shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we did like an extravagant block party, but we knew a lot of people on the block, and we would do stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point. Neighbors, I barely know any of my neighbors. I
know.
wave.
Yeah,
That's about it.
It's another thing.
I just think it makes that dynamic and the
Waving.
situation. Just
The people who drive, like I wave. If someone's driving by, I just wave. Nah, fuck you. Okay, all right. I'll have a great day. Just trying to be polite.
My windows are
Yeah.
so black in my car. You can wave to me. I'm just gonna be like this. You can't see if I wave or flip you the bird.
I'm dealing with something right now, and I just would love you might be able to give the best take on it with your background with your company. But like we have internet companies that are coming in and just putting in their services through the county. But just I don't like the idea where I didn't approve this, I didn't ask for this, and I've got people on my property, digging up my yard, messing with different things, and
Yep.
I want to basically tell them to fuck off, but you kind of can't, and just HOA can't do anything about it. You really can't do anything about it. It's just very frustrating, and I just
What are they doing? Like laying lines and
they're laying
Laying
lines,
the
but
fiber.
it's
Mm.
they're
Poles.
contractors. It's not efficient. Everyone's yard, you got different things just sticking out. I can't even run my sprinklers right now because they took out one of the sprinklers. So it's just that idea where I didn't ask for this and I really don't have any control over it.
Let me ask you this:
What?
Did you actually get the heads up that this was going to happen?
Absolutely not.
Which is crazy. You just
Right.
got someone in your backyard.
Exactly.
It's without any heads
Can you
up.
imagine if you had a firearm in your house? They're on your property.
just get a big ass dog. Put him out back.
Well, it's not out back.
Scary,
it's
dude.
just front yard.
It's out
but,
front
but,
yard,
but
but
still,
We
it's
had
like-
someone in our backyard at the light pole, at the electrical pole, because they were running because it's aerial
Dogs were good
wires,
boys.
and I'm just like,
get the fuck off.
at
Get
least just give a courtesy knock, or have the
I think
think it was
common
AT&T.
courtesy and etiquette.
oh
are
you see
gone.
whatever.
It's
Call us.
disappointing.
But
That's
yeah,
true.
that's annoying. And then you got like the tractors that are coming in, messing up all the grass, and it's like, what the hell? Like someone's got to fix that,
Yeah.
not me.
And then so like I
Yeah,
called
now
HOA.
who fixes your sprinkler?
Well, they said that they're going to do it. Realistically, it's going to be on me, and then we'll see after the fact. So, but it's just that process is frustrating because you call HOA, they're not going to do this through the county. What the hell is the county going to do for me? I mean, we all know that that's a dead end.
It's also how hard is it to get a hold of someone from the
Yeah,
county?
Exactly.
Got gatekeepers left and right,
Exactly.
automatic voice messages.
So-
Press 9 for this, press 6 for this. 22
Yeah, I mean,
minutes
wherever
later.
you go, you deal with it. We just got our building painted, so
Right.
that we had to take all of the stuff off our balconies on both ends,
We went
and
through that too.
that was a pain in the ass because you have like weeks, like months, we were like 6 weeks to 8 weeks that we had no like balconies, which is a kind of a pain in the ass, especially with walking the dogs and stuff. They're trying to like caution tape everything. I'm like, fuck you guys. I'm not walking like outside, like doing all that. I'm walking around my fucking door.
That was actually my biggest concern when I was putting the shed in, was putting the shed too close to any of the electrical stuff because they have the right to knock down anything that's impeding their service.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The only thing that they don't is like a fence, right? Like if you get the fence put in, like they have to go through the gate. Like that's kind of the ordeal. They can't like knock down your fence. But if you build on like easement property, not matter.
Doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter. You can have a structure on your easement property. You can have anything on your easement property. You don't own that shit. County does. they are going to tear that shit down
Yep,
and
it's
do their
crazy.
work. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
So much for that home ownership, like Kenny was talking about earlier. How much do you really own? It just, it's
Yeah. I mean, I think we all own. We own. I mean,
yeah.
single family or condo or whatnot. But yeah, I think we all own. But you lose control with the HOAs.
At the end of the day, go to the countryside, get you some land. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Get you some
Yeah,
land.
Yeah, I mean, if you want
Get you
land,
some dirt.
Yeah.
Dirt,
want real
dirt will
freedom.
make you
Yeah.
money.
Okay.
just go far out west.
Did you just?
Yeah. Get you some dirt. Get some land.
I don't know if they're ready for that. Yeah.
We need to ride on horses, make some business calls, as Kenny would say.
Oh yeah.
Buy our own island.
We're there.
Yeah.
After more
Yeah.
subscribers, please.
Awesome. Well, tell us your input on how you feel on ownership of a home or any other entity, condo, townhouse, things like that. But yeah, we want to know your take or maybe crazy problems that you've had while owning a home that you may want to kind of provide us some insight in, and we'll bring it back to a future episode. So thanks for watching. Until then.
The bender continues.